Hey everyone, Dave here. This is my month seven update video for my investment portfolio in Nvidia and Bitcoin, and we're doing something different for this video. For the previous ones, I kind of just uploaded a video of my face that I recorded on my phone, and for this one, I kind of set up a little bit of a presentation to create visuals for people viewing these videos and for myself in the future when I view these to evaluate whether I want to continue investing in these two things or not and kind of see what's happened in terms of compounding. So, anyways, if you're new to this channel, and I'll explain here a little more shortly, please like and definitely subscribe to the video. This is something that I'm going to continue to do for the next 10 years. And this is month seven out of month 120. And at the end of that time frame, not really sure what I'll do, if I'll continue investing or if I'll, go a different direction. But either way, this is something that I am totally committed to for the next few, or at least 10 years. So please like, comment, subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it, even though there's only going to be a handful of people who view this video. So, with that being said, again, I already said I'm on a 120 month time frame. We are at month seven, and my whole thesis here is that Bitcoin will eventually get to $1 million per coin and higher, but we'll get to $1 million per Bitcoin within the next 10 years or so. And Nvidia, I have very strong conviction for this stock and this position that I hold. I believe Jensen Huang um, is basically like what Bill Gates was to Microsoft and what Steve Jobs was to Apple. And here we have someone just like that here in the year 2024 with this new revolution of AI and Nvidia and Jensen Huang were at the forefront of it. And that's a big part of why I think Nvidia is going to continue to grow in value. So investing in Nvidia and Bitcoin only, nothing else. So the current portfolio value for this month, this is September of 2024. Nvidia, we have just about 115 shares valued at $13,391. Bitcoin, we have zero point 0.16 Bitcoin valued at just over $10,000. So this is a 27% bump from my portfolio value of last year, or excuse me, last month, this past month, August of 2024. And yes, that does include my portfolio contributions, which I will include on the next slide. But nevertheless, we did see a bump up from about 18,000 all the way to $23,482 total portfolio value. So as you can see, I have a stronger position in Nvidia because I've been investing in that since July of 2023 for over a year now. Bitcoin, my position is smaller because I just started that in March of 2024. So that's where we're currently at. My investment amount, or what I contributed for the month of September. So I put $800 into Nvidia shares and then $175 towards Bitcoin. So there was something interesting with Nvidia this month. Nvidia had their earnings, their quarterly earnings report, and they exceeded expectations, not as high as what some other people wanted, but um, and because of that, because it didn't address the hype, it went from about $129 per share all the way down to about $104 per share. So Nvidia is currently $117 per share, and I think we're going to go back up to where it was pre-earnings, likely within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Initially, I thought that would happen faster, but we had all these things with JOLTS, the job outlook, labor turnover report that came out, which kind of scared people off and created a bit of a sell off. So because of that, I thought that Nvidia would go back to $127 per share within the month of September, but I'm starting to think now that probably won't happen until October. So That's my forecast for that. And another thing here, for the rest of this year, for the months of October, November, and December, I am going to contribute solely to Bitcoin, solely into Bitcoin, especially with the upcoming election in November. You know, my predictions that Bitcoin's going to 3 to 5x by the end of next year. And I want to make sure I'm putting funds toward that. And I kind of want to work towards getting my position in Bitcoin around the same as Nvidia. Maybe that's not possible because Nvidia is obviously working off a different trajectory because it's a company that you're investing in as opposed to Bitcoin. But nevertheless, I want to put more money towards Bitcoin to finish the year, and I think it'll 3 to 5x by the end of next year. So that's something I'm going to do for the next 3 months. Now, for the previous 6 months. So this is basically a chart of what's happened. Again, I've been doing this for 7 months, but for one of the months I didn't do a video. That's why I'm just kind of including the past six. But as you can see here, we had a big jump from the month of June to July. From June, we had $10,577, and then July we went up to a little over 22,000, and that's because I had put a significant amount of money towards Bitcoin. I had gotten married um, in May, and um, I took all that money and I put it right into Bitcoin. I bought probably around $8,000 to $9,000 worth of Bitcoin at 67,000 per Bitcoin. I know that's a lot I'm throwing at you, but um, that's the reason for the big jump. So it jumped up here in July. We went back down in August because August, there were a couple different things like political turmoil with, I think, between Israel and Iran. Also, another thing with the Fed and jobs reports, and there was a big sell. Nvidia actually went down to um, about $90 per share, and Bitcoin dropped to 49K. So that was pretty steep. And once that happened at the beginning of August, that's immediately when I put my buy order in for the month, just because I knew, it was a good opportunity. It was a dip. And then September, now we're back up to 23,482. I'm not going to have any kind of substantial lump sum of money being put in for at least the next year. I'm just going to be working and investing. Once I get paid, I invest at least 900 to $1,000 towards Nvidia and Bitcoin. Um, so for this chart that you'll see for the next 12 months, you're going to see something more real. You won't see any big bumps like you did in uh, from June to July. So I'm going to continue keeping track of this, and I'm not on any steady kind of like contribution plan. If I have something big coming up, maybe I'll dial it down to 500, $600. But for the most part, I'm going to try to put close to $1,000 in per month towards these two things, just to kind of stay grounded and disciplined in terms of doing this. Because this whole thing, guys, like if you're not disciplined with it and you're not putting money away as soon as you get it at the beginning of the month, I find it very, very difficult um, to kind of keep track with this. So, anywho, that's my month 7 update. You know, I'm pretty stoked, honestly. We're almost at month 10 out of 120, and I started this back in March of 2024. And this is something, again, guys, I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it, um, you know, for anything like monetary or for fame or whatever. I'm doing this just kind of for myself, and hopefully I can look back on it within the next handful of years and kind of see the power of compounding and how, if you're disciplined and you're putting money towards stocks, index funds, Bitcoin, whatever, you know um, you're able to see some sort of return. Not always, but if you're picking the right things and you're kind of sticking by it, um, you're going to get some form of return. Nvidia, could it go to zero? Yeah. Could Bitcoin go to zero? Yeah. Do I think it's going to happen? No. And that's the risk element of this, because I'm not just investing in the S&P 500. I'm investing in two specific things that are very volatile, and I'm going to do it for the long term. And if that means my returns are under the S&P 500 10 years from now, or about the same or higher, then so be it. But my thesis is that these two things are going to continue to increase in value, and you're going to be able to get returns off it. So, anyways, please, guys, subscribe to the channel. I post probably 3 to 4 videos a month, and a big part of this channel is the monthly investment update. And hopefully, it motivates you guys to do the same, to stay grounded, to keep putting money aside for your future. So, with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video.